right quick. Linda's going to be starting workshops next Wednesday evening. The first one is on opening the bidding, and we'll have a sign-up sheet for those of you who would like to come. It is basically a 2-hour workshop. Well, and I can let you talk about it since you're going to do it.
Yes. It's a little more formal in teaching. You know, this is kind of like what you want. Well, we try to guide you into what we want.
Yeah.
And so we have a lesson explanation, and we play 4 to 6 hands that illustrate the lesson, where we don't illustrate the lesson necessarily when you play in here. So what we do is practice the lesson, and that reinforces and gives you a real understanding. Workshops are great.
And the best thing
No matter
is,
who's teaching them.
yeah, right. The best thing is that she'll say, okay, well suppose this hand we're leading instead of that one, or let's change this card here and see how that changes what you would do. It's not just, well, it's regimented here, this is what you do, but this is the principle, and if we change it a little bit, the principle still applies, but maybe the bend is a little bit different. That's what I like the best about them, is it's not just rote stuff like this.
We change the cards.
Yeah, so it's from 6:30 to 8:30 on Wednesday evening. You get all your materials provided, and it's $10 a person, and we'll have a sign-up sheet on the island down there by the food. We know how to get your attention, so that's where it'll be. Anyway, Linda's going to teach it, and we'll have them on various subjects throughout Easy Bridge. So if you have to miss a week, well, hey, here's a workshop on that very subject. So not a big deal. You know, we know 15 weeks is a long time, especially for the teacher. But at any rate, you're all invited to attend. You can bring a friend, you can bring an enemy, you know, all that. So, okay, let's do some aerobics. If the bidding went 1 spade, 2 spades, how many points would that responder have?
6 to 10.
Yeah, 6 to 10. You got it. How about 1 diamond, 1 no trump?
6 to 9.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing. Only that 1 no trump bid says, I don't have a 4-card major. I don't have 4 hearts or 4 spades. If it goes 1 heart, 2 hearts, how many points? 6 to 10. Yeah, responder still has 6 to 10. How many cards does he have in hearts?
3.
3, yes, at least. He can have more, but when he has 6 to 9 or 10 points, then he just bids at the 2 level. How many points do you give yourself for an ace?
4.
All right. How many cards do you need to major suit to open it?
5.
Yes, 5. How many points do you need to open the bidding?
12.
How many points do you need to be able to answer your partner?
6.
6, whether you feel well or not, right? Okay. All right, let's see. Who is the person who leads?
Declare.
No, declarer doesn't lead. Who plays the hand?
Oh, the yellow.
Who leads? The person to the left of the declarer. What is the declarer's partner called? Dummy. That's right. No aspersions on his intelligence, right? You may look at that hand he puts down and say, where is that hand you had when you were bidding? But don't say it. Okay? Smile and say, thank you, partner. How many points do you give yourself for a queen?
2.
2. How many for a 10?
0.
Pat, 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 pat. Yes. Pats on the back. 10s are good cards, but they don't get any points, unfortunately. How many for a jack?
1.
1. All right. What is your first choice of an opening bid?
One of
One of a major. Yes. Good for you. And if you don't have 5 cards in the major suit, what do you do? If you have 1 no trump points, which are how many? 15 to 17. And what kind of hand do you need to have? Balanced. Gosh, you guys are good. Or maybe the teachers are good. Okay. And if you don't have any of those things, but you have 12 points, how do you open?
1 club.
1 club a one diamond, you're a longer minor. Longer minor. It's called a convenient minor because it makes it convenient for you to open, but you don't have one of your preferences, right? All right, if you take the trick, how do you put your card down in front of you? Vertically, standing up like a good soldier, right? How about if you don't take the trick? Lying down like a dead soldier. Yeah, like a dead soldier. Okay. One diamond, two clubs. How many points does responder have?
6 to 9.
No, he has more than that. When he responds at the 2 level, how many does he have?
Opening point.
No,
10.
10 high card points, yes. Is it just 10? 10 up. That is an unlimited bid. How about one diamond, one spade?
6.
At least 6, but it might be 20. It might be 20. But you have to bid again when your partner bids a new suit. You must bid again because he could have half the deck over there, right? But that's that he just bids a new suit and you bid again and you keep talking and talking and hopefully you end up in the right place. All right, now then, this week we're going to start talking about defensive bidding. Nobody really wants to be a defensive bidder. I mean, when I've got a good hand, I'd like to be the opening bidder. Well, sometimes a rude opponent jumps in there ahead of you, like your right-hand opponent. How dare you jump in the middle of my auction? Well, if you're going to do that to me, I can do that to you. I can do what's called overcall, because I can make a call over your call. Now, I don't need a full opening hand to do it, especially at the 1 level. When you're overcalling, shape counts more than points do. Shape is wonderful. When you're overcalling, that's why I underline it. If your right-hand opponent opens and you've got a good 5-card suit, bid it. You know, we want to be known as nice people but tough opponents. If we let our opponents just say 1 spade, 2 spades, and then just sit there and play it and they make their little bid, well, they're going to love you. But you won't be a very tough opponent. If you can overcall and get in the way of their auction, then, oh boy, they have a lot harder time finding a good place to play. So I like to be able to get in there and ruin my opponent's auctions as much as I possibly can. So I need to have a good 5-card suit. Well, all right, you might say, well, then how does my partner know what to do? Well, we have the opening bidder, we have the overcaller, the responder is the opening bidder's partner. So we don't want to call the overcaller's partner the responder also. That gets pretty confusing. So the overcaller's partner is technically called the advancer. Advancer bids as though his partner opened. Well, Susan, he might not have an opening hand. Then what? Don't worry about it. Just bid as though he opened. If you have 3-card support, raise them. Get in their way some more. We're going to be nice people and tough opponents. Okay? You can be both, right? Definitely. So in other words, if advancer has 3-card support for overcaller's suit, he should raise them a level. So here's an example. Your right-hand opponent opens 1 club, and you have this hand right here. How many high card points does it have in it?
9.
9, that's right. And if you want to be really generous, you can give yourself an extra point for that 5th spade there and call it 10 if you want to. I like to do anything I can to beef up my hand, and so I would call that a hand worth 10 points. What do you think he should do?
1 spade.
Yes, he should bid 1 spade over that 1 club opening bid. How about this one right here? How many points is 14. Your hand's as good as this guy's, probably, right? This suit isn't quite as good as that one, is it? Does it meet the requirements of a good 5-card suit?
Yeah.
That's what we call an ace empty suit. That means it's ace and no other honors. Linda, would you overcall with that suit?
Absolutely.
Me too. Because I've got an opening hand. I don't want to wait around for the next round of bidding. My goodness, they might be up to the 3 or the 4 level by then. I'm going to get my licks in. Because I would love it if my partner led a spade. I wouldn't mind if he led a diamond, but I'm not going to bid a 3-card suit. So don't be afraid to open that hand. It's got a little shape. There's a doubleton in it. Remember what a doubleton is? How many cards in a doubleton? 2. That's right. So, got a little bit of shape. By the way, speaking of shape, anybody in here ever worry about whether Arnold Schwarzenegger or Dolly Parton have brains? You don't too much, do you? They get by on shape. And they do just fine, thank you very much. Well, when you have a hand like this that has some shape, don't worry about its brains. If it's got good shape, bid it. Okay? All right. Does anybody in here necessarily want to be a defensive bidder? You'd rather open right from the very beginning, wouldn't you? But circumstances mean that you're going to end up being a defensive bidder sometime. It's like when somebody asked John F. Kennedy how he happened to become a war hero. He said, well, I didn't have a whole lot of choice. My boat was shot out from under me. Well, it's the same thing. Here we don't have a whole lot of choice, do we? We're going to bid defensively. And the overcalls are the first kind of defensive bid we're learning about. There are 2 more, but that's a subject for another day. Now then, let's talk about how advancer might bid here. Opener bids a diamond. Your partner bids a spade. Responder passes, and now it's up to advancer to decide what to do. This number 3 is his hand. What would you think?
2 spades.
2 spades, you betcha. You've got 8 points in high cards. You've got a doubleton over there. Doubletons in the dummy are great because that means sometimes these little trumps can be used to trump losers in the opening hand. You know, if you can't follow suit, you could put a trump on it and take the trick anyway. Yay! So this has 8 points in it and 3 very nice spades. That's a great raise to 2 spades.
Yeah.
How about number 4?
1 heart or 2 hearts.
Give this lady a cookie. Did you hear what she said? Pass. Pass. Pass is not a 4-letter word. Well, you know what I mean. Larry Cohen says that sometimes it's the best bid in bridge, and he ought to know. He is a fine, fine player. If you don't have support when your partner has overcalled, and you don't have very many points, the problem here with bidding 2 hearts is you do have 5 hearts, but do you have enough cash to buy the 2 level? How many points does it take to bid on the 2 level? 10. So you just have to pull out that green card and put it on the table. Just live.
Could you bid a 1 no?
Not with a singleton in your partner's suit. Not with a singleton in partner's suit. That's not, your hand's not balanced, is it? It doesn't technically have to be balanced to respond like that, but when you have a singleton in your partner's suit, it's better not to do that. Sometimes you just have to live to fight another day.
What's the difference between balance and shape?
Well, a balanced hand shape just refers to what the hand looks like. For instance, a 6-card suit. The shape of this hand is 6-3-2-2, but it's not balanced. There are 3 balanced hand patterns. 4-3-3-3, that's the one we call the pancake because it can't get any flatter. Then there's 4-4-3-2 and 5 M2U00238. Those are the only 3 shapes that are considered balanced. Everything else is either semi-balanced or unbalanced. A lot of people will call this semi-balanced. If you've got a 7-card suit with 3 out here and 2 and 1, 7, 3, 2, 1, that's a very unbalanced hand, but 7, 3, 2, 1 is its shape. So shape, when we say we want an overcall to have shape, means we would prefer that it be something unbalanced. Something unbalanced. You need a 5-card suit to overcall. Remember? 5-card suit to overcall. All right, now then. If you have 8 cards in a major suit, play there. If not, play no trump. Yes. 8 cards in a major suit, you play it there, and if you don't have that, you play no trump. In order to play 5 clubs or 5 diamonds, here's what you need. A singleton, a void, a note from your mother, and a note from your doctor. Or a note from me. I can give you a note. Okay? Now,
How do you know your partner's overcalling and not opening bid because they...
yes, well, I'm getting to that. You just anticipated my question. To a 4-year-old with a hammer, everything looks like a nail, doesn't it? Okay? Well, when you sit there and say, all right, I don't know if my partner's 1 spade bid is a full opening hand, or if he's on his usual lousy 8. You know, my partners are usually on a lousy 8. Well, the answer is at this point, don't worry about it. 3 or 4 years from now, I'll show you how to ask your partner whether you're on a full opener or on your usual lousy 8. But for now, just assume that bid as though he opened. You'll be surprised how often it works out. Because if he's got shape, and you've got something like that 5th hand right here, everybody agree this is an opening hand?
Yes.
Yep. If your partner bid overcalled 1 spade, what would you bid with that hand?
4 spades.
4 spades, you betcha.
You've got a 4?
4 spades, yes. You've got an opening hand. Remember, an opening hand and an opening hand makes game. Takes approximately 26 points. Or remember, 25 is close enough. So just bid 4 spades. What happens if it doesn't make? You go down, maybe it's terrible distribution, and you go for a big number. What should you do? Hang your head and shame? Play the next hand. There's somebody who's heard me before. Yeah. Play the next hand. Be like that quarterback who threw an interception and came back in and just marched his team right down the field and scored. Does that make sense? All right. Another caution here. Is there anybody in here in the medical field? All right. Run an ambulance service, did you? Don't run one for your partner. If he overcalls a suit and you're void in that suit, resist the urge to rescue him. You know what happens when you do that? You bid another suit, he's going to rebid that suit, and now you're a level higher. Didn't you just dig the hole deeper? When you're in a hole, you stop digging. So if he's in trouble, just say, pass, and say, sorry partner, I don't have any cards in your suit. You know, it's what the card gods gave you. So you just have to play the hand you're dealt, don't you? All right, one last story. One day, Mr. Schlitz, Mr. Coors, and Mr. Guinness were all at a beer convention. After it was over with, they all decided to go out for a drink. Mr. Schlitz ordered a Schlitz. Mr. Coors ordered a Coors. Mr. Guinness ordered a Coke. And they looked at him and said, why aren't you having a beer? And he looked at her and he says, well, if you guys aren't going to drink, I'm not going to either. They really didn't have a fit, did they?